What's going on, YouTube? Back again. It's been a minute. I've been trying to do videos, but like Canadian winters are just so brutal. There's like nothing to really film. So anyway, I'm back today, and I didn't do a video on this. Like I said, I haven't been doing videos, but I got new wheels for the 240. So the 240 has new wheels now. I'm going to show you those in a sec. The problem is I had some spare tires, so I mounted them on these wheels. They're kind of big. They're like I think a 205 by 60, which gives it like a pretty solid sidewall. And they're, I think, 7 inches wide in the rear, so they're rubbing. Actually, I'm not even sure, but I'm 90% sure they're going to rub. And this car doesn't have the fenders rolled. So I borrowed a fender roller from a friend, and I'm going to give it a shot at rolling these fenders. I've done it before. It's just been a long time. So I'll show you that, and then what you probably need. So here's the fender roller right here. And for anyone who doesn't know how the fender roller works, you basically bolt that to your wheel hub. You adjust the arm and the angle of this wheel, and you kind of just roll it back and forth on your fenders until that lip folds in. So these are my new wheels. They're SSR EXCs. They're pretty old, but they've been refurbished. The barrels have been cleaned up, straightened out, and they've been repowder coated gold. So they fit on pretty nicely, and I think they go with the two-tone pretty nice too. But like, as you can see, those tires are pretty freaking massive. So here's the hub here. See my coilovers? And this lip in here, like this. So what I'm going to do today is basically just roll that lip up so that I can clear these wheels, and ideally not shred these tires that I have now. So the other last thing you need a fender roller. I know you've probably seen people use like the baseball bat method if you've been Googling this, or like a steel pipe. I've seen it done in person, and unless you know what you're doing, I don't recommend that. Super sketchy. The chance of you cracking your paint or just bending the shit out of your bumper or your fender, it's just not a good idea. So the last thing you'll need, which I just happen to have back from my days as a vinyl wrapper, is a heat gun. So the reason you want a heat gun is you want to heat up the paint first off, because otherwise this whole ridge here is just going to crack when you start rolling it. The other thing it's good for is you just heat up the metal a few degrees anyway, and it just becomes a little more flexible and malleable, so it'll bend a lot nicer. So that's the first thing on the docket today. The second thing, I picked up a new exhaust for this car. This car has an exhaust that I got pretty much like from scrap. That was just like a drift spare exhaust. It doesn't hang right, it hangs crooked, it looks weird, and I thought I would like the dual tip look, but after a season I realized I hate it, and it was just temporary anyway. Alright, so here's the new exhaust. As you can see, it's not brand new, but it's in really good shape, especially compared to the one I have. So what this is in the HKS high power. I'm not really sure how old it is, but it's in good shape. It's a nice exhaust, especially anything HKS is usually some good shit. Anyway, so here's the old one, which, like I said, it's just kind of ugly. It doesn't sit nice, it's dirty, it's bent. Honestly, I think that one was just put together with like 3 cut up exhausts and then a tip welded on the end, and I got it for like pretty cheap while I was buying some other parts from a guy, so it's whatever. Luckily I got this one now, so that's what I'm gonna try and do today as well. I already battled with these bolts to get this exhaust off last time, so I should have fresh bolts and shouldn't be a problem. Gaskets are fresh too. So I'm gonna get going on rolling these fenders now. It's not gonna be so much of a how-to video because there's lots of them out there, but I'll just kind of show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I got one side done. It took a little longer. I'm actually like almost out of breath. I don't know what that says about me from rolling fenders, but so I got the one side done. I just started the other side. It was kind of confusing to get the orientation of the roller correct when I started doing it, but I want to just reiterate on how important the heat is in this, because I used a bunch of heat and just kept heating up this fender. Yeah, so it's pretty much flush now, all the way through till about here, and then till about here, and then it starts to come back out again. So basically, this one's set up now, and the way it works is when you crank this rod, this arm is going to come push either forward or backward. And then you can adjust this knob here, slide the arm up or down, and then this bolt up here to adjust the angle of this. So what you want to do is start first with kind of like a half angle like that, and then eventually you can get this to where it's pretty much flat like this. So I'm going to try it a little more on this side, heat it up first, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to just heat I'm doing it from the outside here, and then I'll take the gun and heat it underneath on that actual fender lip. So I was just doing that for a couple minutes, and then once it gets fairly warm, this one's actually pretty sweet because it actually tells you the temperature on the back, and you can turn it up or down. So you don't want to get it too hot, and you don't want to touch it on your fender and burn your paint or something. But like I said earlier, the most important thing is that you don't want to crack your paint, because especially under there with water and dirt and everything, you're going to get rust if you're cracking your paint. And yeah, it's just a safety thing for the well-being of your car. So highly recommend it. You can rent them, you can buy them. I think I bought this one for like 50 or 60 bucks, and it came with all these little pieces and whatnot. But yeah, you can rent them, and totally worth it. So that side, like I said, it was kind of a hassle and took me longer than I wanted, but probably like 45 minutes. So I'm hoping this side I can probably bang it out in 20-25 minutes. So I'm gonna get started. Second one's done. So much easier the second time, like 15 minutes. One of the tricks, I was gonna say, like, I keep talking about heat. Heat it up. Don't burn it, and don't just hold it on one spot for 15 minutes, but heat it up. The other thing I was gonna say is your fender is gonna flex, and it's gonna push out with the roller. So sometimes it won't roll as tight as you want it to. You want that lip to come right in. One of the things I found is if you roll the roller back and forth with one hand, and you take your other hand and you press on the fender, like right where you're rolling, it'll stop it from flexing and get that little fold in. So if I have any tips, it would be the heat and that. But yeah, not so bad. I can't really tell how the rub is going to be until I drop it. But I'm going to try and do the exhaust quick now before I run out of daylight. But yeah, so I'm going to try and do the exhaust quick now, and then I'll drop it, and we'll take a look on how it looks, I guess. Well, that was pretty easy. Considering I put this one on at the very end of last season, nothing was seized, which is good. So here's the new one, the HKS. I'm going to try and put it on now. It's actually wicked, because this one came off in about 2 minutes. So hopefully this is the same. So we'll try and snap that in quick, and then maybe get a sound clip and see how it sounds.